Hello everyone, can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
So I posted a tutorial in the file section for you. So did you guys solve this tutorial?
What's the problem, sir?
Problem number?
4 and 5, sir. 1 to 5.
So any problem in problem number 1? Problem 2?
सर प्रॉब्लम 2 सॉल्व कर दिया.
So what answer did you get? आपको क्या आंसर मिला है?
सर m into r की पावर m minus 2.
So divergence of r cap by r square and del dot del rm.
Sir, problem 1 completed, sir.
Problem 1 is not completed.
Okay, sir. I joined just now. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so any doubt in problem 1?
No, sir.
So this is a function in spherical coordinate, right? So you have two options, either convert it to xy or second is not convert, I mean write divergence in r theta phi, right? So you can choose whatever you want. Did anyone try to solve divergence of this function?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer?
0.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, it is 0 at r not equals to 0. And the divergence is infinite at r equals to 0.
So how do you get infinite when r is equal to 0?
Sir, it is following the same rule as Dirac delta function, sir. We observe a very infinite peak at the center.
All right. So I think all of you have got 0. But this 0 comes with the restrictions that r is not is equal to 0. And how do we get this restriction here? This restriction is there when you take derivative. Let me consider a simple case. The answer is minus 1 by x square. But this is not the complete answer. There is a restriction here. And why do we have this restriction? So you know derivative is what? slope at a given point, right? How does this 1 by x look like? So this is x, this is y, which is 1 by x here. The plot is like this. So as x increase, y decrease, right? And on this side, it is like this. And you can also see when x is large enough, let us say x is infinity, according to this derivative, slope is minus 1 by infinity, which is 0. And from curve also you can see, if you take slope at infinity, it will be parallel to x-axis, right? But as you decrease x, let us say we are at this point, this is a slope, and this slope has a, I mean, if you check angle from the x-axis, it is more than 90. So tan theta is more than, tan theta is negative here. From this equation also, the slope is negative. As you keep going towards x is equal to 0, slope is increasing in the negative direction. When you are at x is equal to 0, y is like, I mean, the curve is like this. It is parallel to y axis, right? What is the slope when x is equal to 0? Slope is equal to what? Tan of 90 degree is equal to, and what does this derivative tells you? Put x is equal to 0, you are getting minus infinity. So you can see this derivative is not going to work when x is equal to 0. And why do we have this problem? In this case, the problem is due to discontinuity of the curve. If you approach to this point from left hand side, you can see the curve is going along minus infinity. Curve is going towards minus infinity. If you approach from right hand side towards 0, you can see the curve is going towards plus infinity. And we do not know what is the value of curve at x is equal to 0. From left hand side look like it is going to have minus infinity value. From right hand side it look like it is going to have plus infinity value. And that's why there is a problem in the definition of derivative here. Same problems comes with log x. Its derivative also have the same problem. And therefore, this is also like derivative of 1 by r square. And therefore, this is 0 only if r not is equal to 0. The question is then, what is the divergence of this function at r is equal to 0? So it is not exactly infinity. I mean, if you say infinity, that's not the right way of doing this. The correct way is some Dirac delta function. So it's a different function, and we have not yet discussed what is the meaning of Dirac delta, and it is not a function also. Let me call it distribution. Okay. Yes, Dirac delta function distribution look like infinity. So in loose sense, you can say that it is infinity r is equal to 0. But this infinity has some special features. So it's better to write it as a Dirac delta distribution, and we'll discuss later. Okay. So the answer is split in two parts. 0 when r not is equal to 0. It is some other distribution when r is equal to 0. And what is this distribution? We'll discuss later. Okay. What about the second part? So now you can see one operator here, one operator here, and there is some function. The function is simply r to the power n, and this is not a vector. This is a scalar variable. So what is the meaning of this symbol? So it is like, I mean, inverse you can say del square, or it has some other name also.
Sir, Laplace operator.
Yes, Laplacian or Laplace operator. How do we define it? So del is defined like this. I mean, let's stick to the Cartesian system. This Laplacian is defined. So we can also write this thing as del square. And let us say I am going to apply it on some function f. Okay. Then it has this definition phi dot, same thing again, and this whole thing is applied on what? A function f. Here it is a function of x, y, and z. So let us solve this bracket first, the big bracket. So how do we solve this operator? I del over del x, first part from here, dot this whole thing okay, and then this is going to be applied on this function f, okay, plus j cap del over del y dot, same thing again, applied on the same function f, plus k cap del over del z dot, applied on the same function again, same operation again, and this whole thing is applied on f. Now I cap dot I cap is 1, I cap dot j cap is 0, I cap dot k cap is 0. Okay. So what do we have from first part? Del over del x on del over del x. Second term is del over del x, del over del y, and I cap dot j cap. Since I cap dot j cap is 0, I am not going to write it. Similarly others. So this is from first term. Similarly from second, j cap dot I cap is 0, j cap dot j cap is 1. And this whole thing is applied on f. Similarly from third, what I'm going to get? This. So in Cartesian system, Laplacian is very simple. I can write this thing as, okay, del square f. Okay. So del square look like second derivative with respect to x, y, and z and summation. There is a small homework. Please do it. And this del square will not be as simple as this. Why? Because here I, j, k are constant vectors, so their derivative is 0. But in spherical coordinates, their derivatives are not always 0, and you will have to take care of the non-zero terms. So the derivative, I mean the Laplacian in spherical coordinates, will have more than 3 terms, maybe 4 or 5. So this is the definition of Laplacian. What is the problem given to you? Apply this Laplacian on r to the power m. Okay. So again you have the same problem. Either convert r to the power m in xyz coordinates. You can do it. You know r is equal to this, and therefore r to the power m is this function, x square plus y square plus z square to the power m by 2. Okay. Second way is convert this operator or write down this operator in the spherical coordinates. Okay, and then you can use this function. So it's up to you which method you want to use. You will get the same answer in any case. So I have given you this hint. This is the definition of del square. Now follow this definition and complete this part. Problem number 3.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Yes.
सर हमने किया नहीं है सर
पूरा ट्यूटोरियल नहीं किया या कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं की है?
सर मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि ये भी है
What do you mean?
सर मैंने देखा ही नहीं है
That's not my problem, right?
यस सर
So problem 3, any doubt to anyone?
No, sir.
So how do you find out where is the top of hill located?
Sir, first find the gradient and then make the individual components equals to 0.
And why is gradient 0?
Sir, because there is no steepest descent at the top of the hill. When you're going up the hill, you will get the steepest descent, sir. When you are at the top of the hill, there is no steepest descent. So there is no gradient. So it is equals to 0.
Okay. So you can get the answer, but whether your answer is correct or not, I mean, you have to verify whether whatever you are getting is correct or not. Like in one dimension, means like a function y is equal to fx. So this is a curve, and this is x, this is y. So this is some curve, right? If we calculate dy upon dx at this point a means at x is equal to some x1, what is the answer? 0. And if we calculate dy upon dx here also at this point b means x is equal to x2. Here also it is 0. But you know, I mean, you can see from the figure that a is not the highest point, b is the highest point, right? So what else do you need to check? Is first derivative enough?
Second derivative.
And second derivative is what? Negative, positive? Negative, right? The first derivative is negative, negative, negative goes 0 and then positive. So it is positive, it is negative. Okay. Now let's go to the surface. Surface means something like z is equal to f of x and y, or some f x y z is equal to constant. Both have same meaning. So let us say surface is like this. Let me try to draw some two-dimensional figure. I mean the schematic of a surface. Sorry, it's not quite good. So I'm just drawing some curves which can, I mean, you can imagine the surface which look like this. And you can see quite clearly that this is the highest point, right? And what is the property of this highest point? So this is x-axis. I mean, if you go along horizontally left or right, you are moving along x-axis. And if you are going perpendicular to this plane, you are going along y-axis. So if you take derivative, guys, please give me a few seconds. So if you go along x, since this is the highest point, obviously del f upon del x is 0. If you go along y, then also you can see but again, and when this is 0, this actually means this gradient is also 0, because this gradient actually consists of two components, and you can see these two components are same as this. But again, just setting these components equal to 0 is not enough. This does not guarantee that you have got the highest point of the hill. This is true when you get the lowest point. Okay. And you will have to look for what? Second derivative. So can you please tell me what is the condition for second derivative for this to be highest point?
Sir, less than 0, sir.
Negative. Negative.
Negative, but what? I mean, there are like one second derivative is this, one is this, this is also a second derivative. So should all three be negative?
First one.
Let us ignore this one. That's a quite complicated. Let us say this is positive and this is negative. Then what is your judgment? So can you imagine what kind of surface could it be when first derivatives are 0 and second derivatives are like this? Let me give you a surface and that will
Sir, like waves.
uh, not exactly like waves. So let me give you some idea of it. So this is a horse. Sorry for the bad drawing, but I want to show you something important here. So you have noticed a seat on the horseback which rider used to sit, and the seat looked like this. So it is parallel to the skin of the horse, right? And the seat is look something like this.
Sir, somewhat like a chips of Lay's.
Yes, let me try to draw it. What I want you to notice here, if you go along the length of the horse, I mean like this way, from head to tail, let us focus on this point. If you go along the length, this look like a lowest point, right? I mean, if you go towards right, towards head, you have to go upward. If you go towards back, then again you have to go upward. But if you go from one side of the horse to the other side of the horse, like we are going from this side, then we are going upward, we reach the highest point, and then again we go downward. Same points become the highest point, right? So it depends on how you approach this point. Along the length of the horse, same point behave as a lowest point. Along the width of the horse, same point behave as a highest point. What about derivatives? So let us say length of the horse is x-axis. This is x-axis. The width of the horse is, let's say, along y-axis. Obviously, gradient is 0 at this point. Del f over del x is 0. Del f over del y also 0. But about second derivative, it is lowest. Lowest means First derivative is negative, negative 0, and then becomes positive. It's positive. But what about second derivative with respect to y? It is negative, right? Because along y-axis it is the highest point, along x-axis it is the lowest point. So we can also have this kind of scenario in case of surfaces. So 1D is, I mean, the curves are quite easy to deal with. There is a maxima or minima, but surfaces can have a complicated feature. More complicated feature is what happens when you go along some arbitrary curve. Let us say you are going along this line and go to this direction. So these kind of curves, I mean, the behavior of this direction is given by these cross terms. So sign of all these terms matters when you calculate the nature of this point. Okay. For a absolute maxima or an absolute minima, absolute maximum means point like this point. From whatever direction you come, it look like a highest point. This is a global maxima. This is not a global maxima nor a global minima. It depends on how you approach this point. And what is the global minima? Like this. From whatever direction you approach, this look like a minima. Here, all the terms are for minima. It is positive, positive, 0, negative, no, negative, 0, positive, positive. And second derivative is also positive, right? Or in general, the whether it is the absolute maximum minima depends on this determinant. If it is positive, it is a, what is this? So when it is positive, it means it is a minima. When it is negative, it is a maximum. So please check the point that you got by setting these first derivative is equal to 0. At that point, calculate this determinant and see its nature. If it is positive, it's a minimum point. If it's negative, it's a maximum point. How high is the hill? So once you know the point, you can calculate the height as well. How steep is the slope at a point 1 unit north? So 1 unit north means y is equal to 1, and 1 unit east means x is equal to 1. In what direction is the slope steepest at that point? So I hope you can calculate it also. So let us say this is the surface. I mean, it is some complicated surface. Let us say we are here. Okay. So it depends on which direction you go, you will see various slope. Along x-axis, this is the slope. Along y-axis, the slope could be something else. It may be 0, it may be positive, negative, whatever. So there are many slopes at that point. Out of all these slope, which one is the maximum? So how will you calculate the maximum slope at that point? Any answer? Those who have solved it, please reply. So did anyone try to solve C part of problem 3?
Sir, normally I solve, sir.
How did you solve this problem? What technique did you apply?
Not a technique, sir. I took the gradient formula and I have kept x equals to 1 and y equals to 1. And it
Okay.
is pointing in the direction of 45-degree north of west, or simply northwest direction.
Okay. Okay, so first solve it in your style, then I'll answer. But give it some time. Let me see how you approach this problem. Problem number 4. Any problem here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I mean, you have solved this kind of problem when you were sitting for JE.
Yes, sir.
Write down infinitesimal displacement surface area. So I have asked you many times to do this on your own. In spherical and cylindrical coordinate system. Express the unit vectors in spherical and coordinate systems, cylindrical coordinate systems, in terms of unit vectors of Cartesian coordinate systems. So please do it. Problem number 7. Any doubt here?
No, sir.
See, this is an open surface. Why open surface? Because bottom side of this cube is now excluded. So this is open surface. You can have any surface vector you want, and accordingly you will get different answers. And that is why we have given you the direction of surface vectors. If you change the directions, I mean if you choose other directions, you will get other answers. Divergence and curl of following vector fields. So just put the formula there, you will get the answer. Problem number 9, I mean you can ignore it, just the definition. Problem number 13. A. Can we use this range?
Sir, we can include 2 pi also, sir.
So you mean that phi must also from 0 to 2 pi, huh?
Sir, no, sir. I said uh, uh, 2 pi can be included in the range of theta. There, that equality sign is not there, no, sir, in A part.
All right, okay. Yes, okay. So I should put include, I mean less than or equal to 2 pi, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Same thing.
Yes, just typing mistake. I'll correct. What about 13b?
Sir,
Yes.
we can take only up to pi, sir. phi. 0 less than or equals to phi less than or equals to pi. That is the
So,
maximum range.
so what's the problem if we take from 0 to 2 pi?
Sir, 0 to 2 pi, that angle will not be there, sir. Maximum only pi, sir. If we complete the entire sphere, we will get only up to pi. 2 pi is not possible.
So if I, let us say, keep on increasing phi, it means I am covering the sphere 2 times, right?
Sir?
If I increase phi beyond pi,
Yes, sir. Then you will again cover the same sphere.
so is there any problem with it?
But then we can go up to infinity by covering again and again and again.
Yes. So is there any problem with that? So what I'm saying that let us say this is a point P. It is, let us say, theta is equal to 60 degree. Phi is equal to, let us say, 120 degree. The same point will again correspond to 60 degree, and phi is equal to 120 degree plus 360 degree. The same point can again be written as theta is equal to 60 degree, phi is equal to 120 degree plus 2 times 360 degree. So I will have multiple name of the same point. Is there any problem with this concept?
You will get again the same point, sir.
Right.
But the primary range should be within pi.
See, if it is all about just labeling, no problem. But we are using these numbers in our calculations, right? And let us say we want to find distance between 2 points. This is x1 by 1, x2 by 2. We use these as a number to define this distance, right? x2 minus x1 is square plus y2 minus y1 is square. If these points can be given by multiple numbers, like this is one set, this is another set, this is another set, and when we use these numbers in mathematics, we will get different answers. Therefore, it is not a good idea to use a coordinate system which allow you to have multiple naming scheme for the same point. ऐसा कोई कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम नहीं चूज करना चाहिए जिसमें आप एक ही पॉइंट के मल्टीपल नाम रख सकते हैं. And therefore, this 13b is not a good range. It gives two names to one single point. Theta phi is one point. Theta phi plus 2 pi is another name. And that will give many problem when you will do mathematical calculation. So such ranges are discouraged or strictly not allowed. Similarly, check whether 13c, d, e, f, g they are allowed range or not. I mean, these ranges must cover the entire sphere only one single time. If it is covering it more than one time, the range is not allowed. Or if somehow it does not cover the whole sphere, then also it is not allowed. कोई भी रेंज जो स्फीयर को एक से ज्यादा बार या एक से कम बार कवर कर रहा है वो रेंज अलाउड नहीं है. 14, I mean, we have not yet come to this point, so we can ignore. Problem number 15 also. So all these problems will come, I mean, you will solve when we will come to this point. Let me give you some idea of Dirac delta function at this point. What about this function? And let me draw the geometrical form of this function. The function look like this. So this is x-axis, sorry. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. Okay, and the function is like this. So this is width a. So it is ay2 on the right hand side, ay2 on the left hand side, and this is height 1 upon a. Okay. So when x is less than minus a by 2, this is y is equal to fx. So when x is less than minus a by 2, sorry, minus a by 2, this function is equal to 0. From minus a by 2 less than or equal minus a by 2, this function has a value 1 upon a. And when it is greater than a by 2, this function is again 0. Okay. So in this range it is 0. Here also it is 0. And in the middle part it is 0. So when a is equal to, let us say, 2, how much is the area under the curve?
1.
So width is this. Width is equal to how much? 2. Height is 1 by 2. And area is 1. When a is equal to 1, it is 1. It is also 1. How much is area? 1. A is equal to half. This is half. This is 2. Area is again 1. Or graphically, as I shrink or as I reduce the value of a, what happens? As I decrease the width, height increases. If I further decrease the width, height increases even more. But area is always 1. Let me go to the extreme case. How much is the width? 0. How much is the height? How much is the area?
1.
Area is still 1. And that's why I said, okay, so let me first complete. Now what is the drag delta function? Drag delta is this.
Sir,
Yes.
width is 0 or it is tending to 0?
Tending to 0 is the right one. Okay. So let's keep it tending to 0. So drag delta distribution which is given by this symbol delta x, has this definition. Limit a tends to 0, the behavior of this function fx. What I actually mean here, so it's a function, and how does this function look like? The function look like this. Delta x is 0 if x is not equal to 0. It is infinity when x is equal to 0 with a condition. And what is that condition? That area under this curve, area under the Dirac delta distribution has to be 1. Means the integral of delta x dx, what are the limit? X is equal to 0 minus any small number to x is equal to 0 plus epsilon. Epsilon is any small number you can think of. Has to be equal to how much? 1. So this is the restriction on the, this restriction defines the Dirac delta function. It is infinity, no doubt, but this is not some arbitrary infinity value. It has to respect something, this restriction. So it's a function like this. If you ask me to plot this function or plot this distribution, it has this kind of behavior. So this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is x is equal to 0 point, this is x is equal to positive on this side, negative on this side. It is always 0. Okay. Right at x is equal to 0, it goes to infinite value. Okay. And again, it goes back to 0 again and remains 0 all the time. This is delta x. What about delta x minus 2? What kind of function is this? X minus 2, sorry, delta x minus 2 is equal to 0 when x minus 2 not is equal to 0. Okay. Or it is equal to infinite when x minus 2 is equal to 0 with condition. And what is the condition? Integral delta x minus 2 dx, x minus 2 is equal to 0 minus any small number to x minus 2 is equal to 0 plus any small number, has to be 1. Or we can simply write this. Sorry. We can simply write that delta x minus 2 is 0 when x not is equal to 2. Or if you wanted to see on the graph, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is minus 1, minus 2 and so on. Drag delta look like this. It is 0 everywhere. Okay. Write at x is equal to 2. It is a curve. It is a curve of a negligible width, something like this. The width is very close to 0 and the height is almost close to infinity. Okay. And it again becomes 0. And how much is the area under this curve? Area has to be 1. So this is delta x minus 2. Okay. So this is drag delta function. Now please think about what is the possible answer of this. Easy nahi hai, but give it some time. Let me give you the answer only. So when r is equal to 0, it is 4 pi delta r. When r is equal to 0. Okay. Now I have given you the answer. Give it some time. How do I get this answer? Or please read about this in the book I have suggested to you. Have you got this book? So have you access to this book?
Sir, Griffith, sir.
Griffith, Electrodynamics by Griffith.
Yes, sir.
So it is also discussed in this book as well. So it is the same function I have asked you to solve. It is 0 except one point, and that one point is origin. At that origin, it gives 4 pi. So read about it. Why do we get 4 pi there? And let me know whatever doubt you have. Okay. So give it some time. This is the definition I have just described to you. Go through it. About this book, let me tell you one thing. Whether you are doing BTech, BSc, MSc, PhD, any other research, you are in NASA, ISRO, DRDO, whatever, wherever you are. If you are interested, if you have any interest in all these things, this book will always be there on your table. आप किसी भी रिसर्च एरिया में हो इस फील्ड से रिलेटेड, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड से रिलेटेड, ये बुक आपको लाइफ के हर मोड पर आपको हेल्प करेगी. It's a good book. Please give it some time. And let me tell you something. Submit these problems. Problem 3C. And problem number 5. Problem number 10. in problem number 12. So please make a notebook, solve these problems on your own. That will help you to, in your exam. And take photo of these 4 problems, make one PDF file, and please upload it in the assignment section. I will create one assignment for the same purpose. You can upload it there. Okay. So upload the soft copy of this all 4 problem only, and keep solution of other problems in your notebook for your help during the exam. So I'm going to end this class now. Please don't say कि हमको पता नहीं था. This is a class. कोई ये हंसी मजाक नहीं है. So थोड़ा.
Sir,
Yes.
last doubt, sir.
Yes.
Can I ask, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Sir, in that function r hat by r square, it looks similar to the field created by positive charge.
Right.
Sir, then at r not equals to 0,
Yes.
we concluded that the divergence is 0. Sir, can we say that at r not equals to 0, there is no any incoming or outgoing field, or there is no field itself?
No. So when divergence is 0, all it means that net outgoing field is 0. Net means whatever is the incoming, same amount is the outgoing. So incoming is equal to outgoing. It does not say that there is no field. It says the incoming and outgoing field has to be same. Now the same number can be a non-zero number, and it can be a zero number also. That we do not know.
Acha, okay, sir.
Right? When divergence is 0, it simply means that, let us say this, we take this small volume. Whatever is the field going into it, same amount of field is going out. How much is the field? That divergence cannot tell you. That field can be 0, that field can be non-zero as well. But inside this small volume, field is not going to be stored. Neither field is being created here, nor field is being destroyed here. There is no source inside which can generate more lines. There is no sink inside as well which can consume your lines. So whatever numbers of lines going in, same numbers of line has to go out from this. Okay. Let us say we have some charge here. Okay. Since we have some charge, now del dot B is not 0. Okay. It simply means that the numbers of lines going out are not equal to numbers of lines coming in. So outgoing lines means the strength of field or the flux is not is equal to incoming field. When there is a charge, if there is no charge, the outgoing flux has to be equal to incoming flux. Okay. In fact, that is the main definition of Gauss law. What does Gauss law say? Net outgoing flux. Let us say there is no charge is equal to 0 when no charge. It means that net outgoing flux is 0. Let us say this is a surface. It does not mean that there is no electric field. Whatever is the flux going into this sphere or whatever surface, same flux is going out from this sphere. Okay. So incoming is equal to outgoing. It does not mean that E has to be 0. E can still be non-zero. Any other doubt?
No, sir. Only this, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So we will meet in the lecture class now. Please complete this. Complete the half of the tutorial up to problem 13 or 14. And I'll give you one more tutorial on this first unit. And maybe after 1 or 2 lecture, we will be on the second unit. So let me take attendance. Yes, you can leave now.
Sir, in assignment only those 4 we have to submit, no sir?
Yes.
Not all,
but-
sir.
Yes, not all.
Okay, sir.
But please make a notebook, solve all the problems. That will help you in exam.
Okay, sir.